Big Sky Economic Development is charged with leading economic and community development in Yellowstone County. We were created by the Yellowstone County Commissioners in 1989 as a trade port authority, later becoming Big Sky Economic Development Authority. And then in 2002, we created the EDC, the Economic Development Corporation, creating this very unique public-private partnership. And we really focus under that partnership in three things. We provide a suite of services to help local businesses in our region, and businesses throughout the state grow and prosper, add and create jobs. We also do community development work, so we do planning, grant writing to help build the infrastructure in Yellowstone County, and then we do new business recruitment. PTAC has been a part of our organization for many, many, many years. In fact, well over 2 decades. And it started with reaching out to the Defense Logistics Agency in Washington, D.C. under the Department of Defense and creating a partnership with that agency and our organization, and then a broader statewide partnership to provide services that are needed by the Montana business community to help them execute deals, do business with the federal government, and in some cases that helps them also be prepared to do business with the state government or a local unit of government as well.
I went to a DBE seminar here in town that was put on by Shannon Hahn, and I met Deanna Langman, who is with PTAC, at that seminar. Shannon introduced me. She knew I was trying to break into the field, and she just kind of said, well, come here and let me introduce you to somebody that knows about what you're doing. And she introduced me to Deanna Langman with the PTAC here in Billings. After I talked to Deanna, I come back home, took all the information that she had gave me, and from there I thought, you know what, this lady knows her stuff and I can very much utilize her in my company, and she could really show me what I need to do to be able to sell to the government.
We had another program come in, the MMEC. David Allard was an individual that got me in touch with Lisa at the office here, and she came in, talked with me a little bit, asking what we were wanting to do. So she set up a time, I went in, and she kind of showed us the ropes on that.
The SBA put me in touch with PTAC. I contacted PTAC, Patty Cox, started with PTAC shortly thereafter. Looking at all these government hoops that I need to jump through, and I thought to myself, okay, this is what PTAC does. I'm going to call Patty and see what kind of help I can get. And she and Doug responded fabulously.
I found out from PTAC through a friend of mine, and from there I started going to some of these seminars that they had and met the folks here in Butte, and went to the seminars, and they had a lot of guest speakers that dealt with government contracting and knew the ins and outs and how that works, especially when you're dealing with the FAR, and then how do you get paid through the worldwide area workflow. So those seminars helped me out a lot, figuring all that stuff out and getting me off the ground.
Right in the beginning in 2013, when I thought I wanted to start a consulting company, I have no idea where to start. So then when I Googled, then I found out PTAC can actually helps in that kind of areas.
I originally applied for 8A in 2011, and my first step I was denied, and they had a lot of questions about my personal financial statement. And some of the questions I didn't have the answer to, so they directed me to Deanna with PTAC.
Deanna helped us with from the very beginning, getting our business plan done, helped us move it into an 8A business plan. She's helped us with meeting different contracting officers, telling us what websites to use, how to use these websites, how to keep our company updated so when contracting officers are looking for a company in certain NEX codes, they're able to find us. Just everything.
One of our patients, veteran, started his own business working with the government.
And recommended, when we had voiced some of our concerns and some of our challenges that we were facing, to contact Patty Cox and PTAC. And and spoke very highly of them, and it turned out to be a very good decision.
Well, with Doug here, there's just so many different things that he helps you to try to get before you can even get these contracts. That's really important. So on that, he really goes above and beyond out of his way to make sure that it's really done correct.
For me, it was Carol Cunningham at PTAC. She helped me from the start to the end. I could call her anytime. She's helped me from her home even. I've called her and she's been cooking dinner and she says, "No problem, Francis, I'll help you out." And every time she's had an answer, and if she had any kind of a question, a matter of hour or two, and she'd call me back and said, "I got it figured out and ready to move on."
My son told me there was this really nice, intelligent lady by the name of Carol Cunningham, and ever since then, she has been doing a very good job.
My wife, actually, she runs the office. She, I think, through FedBizOps, somehow came across them online and started going to some of the seminars they had. And there's a lot of companies out there that want you to pay for their services to teach you how to work with the government, but you don't have to pay for anything with the government. The government really helps you out.
It's funded through that cooperative agreement that we put together with the Defense Logistics Agency, and that funds our work as the host organization for PTAC. But then it's funded locally because we enter into sub-recipient agreements with several local organizations throughout the state, and it's important that we know who those are. So I'm actually gonna read those because we have a lot of partners throughout the state of Montana that provides local matching dollars to help fund. So we have the Bozeman PTAC, which is funded through Montana State University. We have the Kalispell PTAC, which is funded through the Montana West Economic Development, a peer organization like Big Sky Economic Development. The Missoula PTAC is through the University of Montana agreement. The Butte PTAC is through the Butte Local Development Corporation. Go Butte, gotta give a shout out to the folks in Butte. Great Falls PTAC is hosted there by the Great Falls Local Development Authority. Hamilton PTAC is the Ravalli County Economic Development Authority. Lewistown's PTAC is at the Snowy Mountain Development Corporation. And then in Ronan, the PTAC there is hosted by the Lake County Development Corporation. So we hold the larger cooperative agreement with the federal government, and then we have partnership arrangements throughout the state of Montana to provide these services throughout the state. So you'll have a PTAC counselor in all those communities working directly with those local businesses. If you're a business sitting in a community in Montana and you pick up the phone and or go online, which is what most people do now, go online and figure out how can I get these kind of services. Based on the network we've created around the state, you're going to be able to find services close enough to you that you're probably going to be able to meet face to face with a PTAC counselor and get the answers to the questions that you have. So you can go online and learn about PTAC. At the end of the day, if you want to talk to a real live person, our network is broad enough that you're going to be able to talk to a PTAC counselor and get the services that you need. And we could not do that as the host for the program without those partnership arrangements that we have throughout the state. I don't think people realize this, how much money the federal government spends in Montana, in our broader region. I think just in Montana it's well over $500 million a year. If you're a local business, whatever you may be selling, you have a defined market and you're trying to grow your business, stretch that market, find other ways to execute business, find new customers, the federal government may be a customer for you. You may not even realize it. Maybe you want to sell hot lunches to the Forest Service during the summer season, or maybe you've designed backpacks that could be used for our armed services. Whatever it might be, you could be sitting in a small community in Montana, and actually through our program, be able to execute and do business and secure a contract to provide a service or a product to a federal or state agency. And frankly, that, as we discussed in a meeting earlier today, that goes right to your bottom line. That is new business that goes right to your bottom line. So if the federal government is spending $500 million a year in Montana, and you're a Montana business, you ought to find a way to get a piece of that business. And you'd be surprised how much product and service and how unique those products and services are that the federal government purchases in our state each year.